welcome to episode number 8. My name is Tree, and we are moving on to the final top stage of our Wilderness SMP project. Here it is, we are at the top, we've made it. Thank you very much for watching the previous episode where we completed the midsection, but today we complete the top section, and this is the final part of the building itself for the infrastructure and architecture. After this, we can then move on to details and terraforming, along with some of our interiors, which is really exciting. That's going to bring the lore and story to life and just make the download for everyone a little bit more exciting with the completed interiors as well. So with the top section, let's go through it. So I'll go through it as best I can and explain what we're doing, a lot of the decision making and struggles that we had, as well as some of the cool parts. But one of my favourite parts is actually this bit I'm working on right now. You can see in the video. This was the sort of the initial top section. It's like a sort of a step way up with a continuation of the staircase. And it used a lot of the repetition from other areas, and that's key to remember here. A lot of people have been asking me about the build techniques and the methods and how I'm doing it, because I am building it on the fly, remember. I'm not practicing this, and a lot of it's coming from earlier on in the build, like other areas, lower down, sort of from the mid-tier section. So making sure the walls are 3 blocks wide, ensuring that the blocks are 2 to 3 blocks deep, using the pale oak in a way which it uses like arches and stuff too. It's quite consistent, and by the time I'm getting to this top section now, there is a lot more repetition from the style. Now, obviously a lot of the builds and the facades, the front of the buildings are quite different, but a lot of the techniques are replicable. So although I feel as though when I'm making it, it's quite samey, when you do zoom out and look at the build from a different perspective, it certainly does look different as you progress your eye line from bottom to top. And that for me has been one of the most positive things I've taken away from this is, and it's been good to wing it. It's been good that there's no repetition. I've tried not to copy too many other buildings, keep it unique. And this cathedral that we're making at top, which will ultimately be my main base home that I'll live out from. I'll have a bedroom in here. I'll have all my loot that I've captured from the world. All this sort of the primary blocks, my elytra, my diamonds, my gold vaults, all the things where I'm keeping are all going to be in this cathedral at the top. And yeah, and it's been really sort of fascinating for me to have a look at the block palette. Just a reminder that it is calcite and diorite kind of at the bottom, working its way into stripped pale oak, into smooth quartz, up to bone, and then mushroom right underneath where the shadows are and the lips are of the building. So you'll always see me use mushroom stems just when it comes to where you'd imagine there'd be a natural shadow with the build appearing. Moving on to the dome, as you can see, this video does not give it justice how long that took. It definitely took me a stream, at least 4 to 5 hours to kind of get this right. And this time lapse doesn't do it justice at all. We made a few mistakes. We did try to just use pale oak for the north, south, east, west sort of areas here. Didn't quite work out how I wanted to, so we actually changed it up so that the middle section looked like it was actually a slight shadow, so you can see the mushroom stem in the middle to make that one thick line down the middle, then have it gradient and work its way out to the outside edges. And I think it turned out quite nice. I'm still not too sure even watching this video back, but I think it turned out okay. And the dome inlays, which were the sort of the grayer tones, that was inspired from our starter base, where we actually used tough blocks. I think we also used coral and gravel early on. This one we used mossy cobblestone. We also then moved on to andesite, stone, all that type of stuff, tough as well. And then obviously worked our way up to the diorite on the inlays. And I think it turned out really nice. I think the dome itself I was really pleased with. It took a little bit of effort to try and wing it and get it right, and I think there's still changes that could be made, but once we add in the gold topper in the next episode, because there will be at least 2 more episodes, guys, just so you know, there will be at least an episode. This is 8, so there'll be at least a 9 and there'll be at least a 10 for the Wilderness SMP. So for me, a lot of content for me to look forward to make. Likelihood is that going to be rolling into sort of October and November time, with hopefully maybe a final recap video in December to kind of close things up basically for this project. But we'll see how it goes. It's all time dependent with work and kids and stuff like that. But on stream we will try and commit time to get this done at least once a week on a Wednesday. We'll still try and put effort in to get this whole done, because the next stages after this cathedral are interiors of all the buildings, terraforming around the outside edges. So you can see there the edges of the building there are flush to the natural grassy landscape, and also the organic details like trees, bushes, plants, and all that type of stuff is going to be coming slightly later on down the line. But this is one of the first interiors. It's not the first, but it's one of the main interiors that I have spent a little bit more time on. So although I had finished the outside architecture to some degree, the floor here and the walls were something I really wanted to focus on getting right. Because it's going to be as I said earlier, it's the primary focus. It's the main area of the base where you look up to, and your eye is naturally gazing from top to bottom or bottom to top. I typically look at the base from sort of the middle, but everyone will have a different vantage point when they look at it, which is pretty cool. It means that it's quite unique when people look at this build, and the feedback from my server mates on here has been really nice. People on and obviously the streams and previous comments, my YouTube shorts. There's been various comments obviously giving me really good praise, and I really am grateful. I'm so thankful people who have supported us doing this. It does keep me going. It remains positive that people do enjoy my builds and my content, and although it's not maybe as high as other maybe creators, being able to put the time and effort in, which others can, I put in the effort that I can, and I think it turns out pretty neat. But we'll kind of end here, kind of just going through some of the interiors now, doing the pillars. Not sure on them. I still don't know if I like them. I think it's nice for the colour. We might add a little bit more detail maybe later on down the line. And then also what you'll see just in a second is the outside sort of retaining wall behind these as well. We put up, continuing the gradient from the outside. So diorite, calcite, working up to your pale, smooth quartz, bone, and then mushroom. And just continuing that up through the walls. But once we get the pillars done here, you'll see me just adding that wall in now. Building it up took a little bit of time. I mean, it did take me longer than expected, but I'm pleased how it turned out. There's a lot of work to be done. We are going to, as I said at the beginning, we are going to use this as a living space. I believe in that back area there where the stone wall is, that is going to be an entrance to a sort of vault area with primary storage for all my valuables. There's going to be like an armory section. There's going to be a tool section for all my my weapons and tools that I use daily to sort of upgrade. Maybe some XP farms and stuff like that easily, so I can sort of gear up for my little adventures and turn it into a proper base where I can have enchantment rooms, potion rooms, and everything a person would ever need in Minecraft, and try and encompass it into this build somewhere, either in the cathedral or through the actual town itself into other buildings. Because we've already got our storage village at the bottom. I'll take you into that in our little tour just at the end. And I'll walk you through the whole build. I'll give you some of the ideas that I'm thinking of to tie this all together. But this build will be available on my Patreon as soon as I have finished it. The link for the Patreon will be down in the description down below. And if you do want to watch this build live and even have your say and help me with some things, we do live stream on the Twitch and also TikTok as well occasionally. We can do the both of them when we can. So yeah, you're more than welcome to catch a live stream and have some input. But here's just the arches going in around the outside edges as well, so we managed to complete those arches, which was really nice. They were a little bit time consuming and a little bit temperamental because I wasn't too sure how they were going to turn out. Thankfully they turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with them. I could have maybe improved them personally, but I think for the time which we had to wing it, they turned out fine. And just obviously the last little bit here is kind of then in between those arches. Is the actual corner sections as well, and we managed to get each of those up and looking pretty good. But anyways, I'll leave you there. That's been about 9 minutes. I'll hand you over to Tree just in a second. I'll do a wee pan out and stuff, and I'll show you the build, and then we'll put you on board with myself, actually walk you through the build. We'll talk about what's next, what's up and coming, and then just obviously give you an overall tour like you see around. But yeah, my name's been Tree. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll just hand you over for a little bit of a tour to other me. There we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Tree, for giving us a little bit of a walkthrough of the build. I mean, look at it behind me. I am so so pleased with how this base has turned out. Look at it in the background. It looks so cool. Right, yeah, from this perspective, I am so happy with how this build's turned out. I know it's been a lot of hard work to get this far. It's been obviously a lot of videos, a lot of time in between, not having a lot of time on my hands, but I think it has turned out really nice. So we've got a lot of work to do, as I said in the video. I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough tour of just kind of the top section, maybe just coming in from the bottom. Obviously, seen a few. If you haven't seen a lot of the walkthroughs before, just go to watch the previous videos. You can kind of watch it from the bottom. So we'll kind of land probably just up here, and then we'll just kind of walk through, and then we'll go up and have a look inside the dome for today, and then talk about what's kind of next. But the project itself, I think the block palette is definitely one of the things I'm most happiest about. It's a quite different palette to what I'd normally use, so for it to turn out the way that it has, yeah, really, really happy. Right, here we go. So as you see, there is a lot of interiors still left to do, and that'll be the sort of next 2 videos. So between now and pretty much like October, I'll do my best to try and do a few more of the interiors of all the lower down builds. But here's the top section. So this is kind of what I was looking for, is when you look up and gaze into it, it's kind of, you can see through it almost. Obviously a lot of lighting I need to fix, but as you kind of walk through the base itself, as I said in the video, this is definitely one of my favorite sections here. It kind of splits the build up a little bit, and it makes it a little bit more grand, and the fact that it sits up and across. And just given because obviously this scale, if I go into the options, you can see I'm running in a normal FOV. This is how you would see it. It just makes it look absolutely enormous. Sometimes when I play, I run with like a 90 FOV just to get a little bit of a wider view. But this really puts it into sort of the scale and perspective and size. And I've definitely bitten off a little bit more than I can chew. I'll be the first to probably admit that. This has been a big project, something that's taken a long time to do, and it's just the infrastructure. It's literally just the buildings. It's nothing, no interiors. It's not a usable space yet, other than one room, arguably. All of this has all got to get built out. So the intentions is to have rooms in the inside of these walls. So one here and one here, and they'll get built out over time. But the inside of the dome, I think it turned out really, really well. These little bits here were probably the hardest bits. So just inside those. I think a happy cast would have helped to make them a bit faster than using scaffold, but that's okay. We'll treat it as it is. And it turned out pretty good, I think. So yeah, go a little bit of free cam to make it a bit easier and get around. As you saw in sort of the time-lapse videos, there's a little bit of work to do. I'd like to add a little bit more organics and make it look a bit more run down. It looks a bit too clean at the minute. So what I'm going to do in the future videos is, I say interiors, absolutely. But this exterior facing wall here, I'm going to tidy that all up, make it look a little bit nicer and blend it in. And a lot of the scenery, I'm going to have it blending into the build. So some of the sort of dirts maybe fell into the build over time. Hanging moss, vines, all that type of stuff, and make it all blend in. And then eventually I'm going to add like a little gold spire to the top to finish up, and then a lot more sort of glow lichen vines. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head. The moss, the new vines that we've got, the new white ones from the pale forests. And where I was going to take you down to is I have actually had a little bit of a play with this. Now I don't think I've went, well, I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge in the comments. I may have went over the top a little bit. So let me just fly down here really gently. So just here, I'll just stand at a distance. It should be like run down. And I think that's what I wanted it to be, dystopian and like old, and it was like an old remnant of what it used to be, basically. And that's why a lot of the past are worn out from the white, because it's obviously been treaded and walked on. So yeah, so I had to add in sort of a lot of the new blocks here. So we've got the sort of dried sort of leaves, the leaf litter, and then you've obviously got the sort of pale moss carpets to kind of go up the walls, the vines that hang down, the glow lichen, pale moss actually into the walls. And it might be a bit too much, but I'd like to do that like throughout the whole entire build. Not going to be easy. That's going to be a very hard task, but I'm going to give it the best shot. So the only building that we've got currently at the moment that's usable is in here. This is a storage facility. Currently just one floor at the moment. I am going to put a little bit of a spiral staircase maybe in here to then go up to a secondary floor just up above in here. And there's a lot of other builds. We've spoke about this before on previous streams, on the YouTube videos. This is going to be the Great Library. It's going to go into there. And as you kind of fly through the rest of the build, there's going to be a combination of different buildings that will host different things. I feel pretty safe. I'm going to stay here and just go free cam, so it's a bit easier for you all to see. So this is going to be my little trader hall in here. I'm going to try and get some villagers in there and turn it into a trade hall. The buildings on the left-hand side, again, is going to be like a sort of shopping district. We're going to have a potion house, enchanting. It's going to be in one area because all the books are going to be on the far side. So we're going to have some stuff around this side. Armorers, weaponsmiths, all different sort of builds that resonate with obviously the villagers, and have one for each of those in turn. The one I'm probably most looking forward to is definitely in here. There's going to be a little garden. So I'm going to look forward to making this one. There's going to be a tree in the middle that's effectively holding up this roof. That should look pretty nice. So I think really in order, we've got the interiors of the buildings to now do. Exterior sort of wall, I want to blend it in and terraform it. It was originally going to have a big massive like wall on the outside, but I played around with it a little bit and I just think it took away from the scale like the mountains and things. So I'm going to try and keep it quite natural and keep that all there. And then the last thing I said to you is getting making it look older with all the sort of the pale moss, vines, all that type of stuff. And I'd like to add some trees in here. Now, I've not played around with them, but I would quite like there to be maybe like a big pale oak or willow tree, maybe one there, maybe one slightly further down, and get those going as well. Hopefully. He says out loud, but I never really know. We'll play around with it. But yeah, I'll leave it there for today. It's been... Oh, wow. Oh, did my wings just deplete? Oh my god, my wings just died and I got an achievement. Oh, I guess we're not flying today now. Oh my goodness gracious me, that was lucky. Oh well, I guess I'm rounding down to the bottom of the build then. There's everyone in the server asking if I'm okay. Yes, I am okay. I appreciate you all asking it. Yes, I am good. I cannot believe that happened. Anyways, right, let me just get to the right camera. Let's go free cam to finish then. So yeah, so thank you very much all for watching. This has been an incredible project. I've really enjoyed it. And I can't thank everyone enough for watching, your nice comments, your feedback on this build. It will be available on Patreon, I'm hoping, over the next couple months. I'll keep you all posted. And if you want to catch a live stream, be sure to do so on Twitch or TikTok. And I'll try and post a little short on this as well in the not too distant future. But for now, my name has been Tree. Thank you very much for watching this new episode of the progress of my Wilderness SMP base. And I'll hopefully catch you all in a future video. Cool. Love you. Bye.